Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Leiluy nishmat Morasi Mordechai. In the middle of a war, there are a lot of injured, a lot of shvuyim, a lot of niftarim. The mood is somber somewhat, away in an undisclosed location with all of my family. So we'll start off with a kapitel Tehillim. We'll go straight into the learning. We'll skip the emails. Shir ma'alois mimama kim korsicha Adonai Adonai shemo b'koili tienos decho kashuvois l'kol tachanunoi im avoinois tishmoria Adonai mi'amoi timcho aslicha leman tivorei kivisi Adonai kivso nafshi v'ledvorei cholti nafshi l'Adonai shemrim laboike yachel Yisrael el Adonai Kim Adonai Chesed v'arbei moifedos v'hu yivdes Yisrael mikol avoniso v'chein kol beis Yisrael hanesurim betzorah v'shivyo hoim dim bein bayom ubein bayabasha mokim mirachim aleim yitzir mitzol levacha u'mafei loiro u'mishibod ligu'ula hashto bagalo v'zman koriv v'rimar omein. Today's shir is sponsored. The Masechta, Lock and Lebovic families, Lakewood NJ, because torah and achdus are the best segula. Parnas Chodesh, Elan Chaim Golan, Leiluy nishmat Batsheva Chaya bat Miriam. Parnas Chodesh, Leiluy nishmat Zechrya ben Masha. Parnas Chodesh, Leiluy nishmat Chaya bas Yosef. Parnas Hayoim, Michael Chesal. Oh, Michael Chesal from Florida, I believe. In memory of Morasi, Chaya, Masha, Rivka, bas Dovid, zechariah Rochel, Yortzeit is today. Judith Neil Halpern, Leiluy nishmas Harav Dovid Zenvil ben Reb Elchanan Pressman, Neil's father. The third parnas, safe return of Eden bat Rina, unknown whereabouts after the massacre over Shabbat. The art of the month, Yosef and Chaya Sorah for all the schusim that come from supporting Limud torah. Rabbi said it's still not too late to join Shnai Mikra Targum. You join on your own. There's an All Daf program app that helps out. Marad Nakash is giving out many Shnai Mikra Targum Chumashim, a special MDY edition. Rabbi Sai, here we go. Today's Daf Samach, we're holding all the way on the bottom Daf Nun Tes, Amud Beis, because I am traveling, so preparation is hard. The charts are very difficult. So please forgive, and Be'ez Hashem, there will be better days up ahead. Omar Rabbi, Ultamei de Rav. So we're learning the idea of me'achshav. A person says, I am being mekadesh you me'achshav ul'achar shloshim yom. It's almost like a contradiction. From now and after 30 days. So according to Rav, that says we don't know what exactly this person meant to say. Is he making a condition? Is he saying, I want to start it now, but if things don't work out, then I have a chance to back out. If things work out, then after 30 days, we'll be married. Or he's completely retracting what he says. Ma'achshav, and then stop. Wait a minute, I made a mistake. No, let me retract. You know when we're going to get married? In 30 days from now. The Gemina is that if somebody comes along and is mekadesh her in between, if it's a complete retraction, then she's engaged to the second person, not to the first person. But Rav says that we don't know. It could be a retraction, it could be a condition. We don't know. So if so, says Abaya, the first person said 30. From now till 30. From now, 20. So now, the second guy, he beats the first guy by 10 days. From now and 10 days. So now the third guy beats the second guy and the first guy. Says the Gemara, so now, since Rav says it can be two things, it could be either a t'nai, a condition, or a retraction. So let's think about it for a second. If it's a retraction, then the first and second people, if they are completely retracting, then they both retracted, and the third guy jumps in and he says, okay, I want to get married now after 10 days. So he'll win. You need to get from him. But if it's a condition, then the first guy beats out the other two people. So then you need to get from the first guy. So you need to get from the first guy and the third guy. Monavshach. So you need to get, you need it from the first and the third. And you don't need a get from the middle guy. Monavshach. Why? If it's a condition, means a condition, the Kama Kiddushin, then the first guy is the one that was Mekadosh. The Hanach Lav Kiddushin, the second and third are nothing. And if it's a retraction, the Basri Kiddushin, the Hanach Lav Kiddushin. So then, if it's a retraction, then the last guy wins and the two first guys nothing. So we don't know which one it is. Rav says it's a suffix, therefore you need to get from the first and the third. That's the Gemara Pshita. What did Abaya add? Some people use it as a t'nai. Some people use it as chazara. Think about it. Maybe the first and the third guy, they retracted. But we don't know what each person. Maybe some people use it as a retraction. Some people use it as a condition. So if that's the case, maybe it's not the pshat that each person has a suffix. Some people use it like this, some people use it like that. So what if the first and the third use it as a complete retraction? And the second guy, the middle guy, came in and he grabbed their Kiddushin. So maybe you need to get from the middle guy. Komash Malal, no. We have a suffix in each individual. Everybody's equal in the way they use it. So therefore, it's Miman of Shach, either the first or the third, but the middle guy never. It says Gemara Ula Omar. Ula Omar, Rabbi Yochanan, Ula says in the name of Rabbi Yochanan. Listen, Rabbi Yosef, to this Chiddush. This is unbelievable. Afilu meya toivsimba. 100 people can make a Kiddushin in one woman. How's that possible? And not only Ula said it in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, so Rabasi, another Talmud. Even 100 people, because it's so unbelievable, you need two Talmidim to tell you this. We heard it from Rabbi Yochanan. Let me explain to you how this works. This is like building bricks, like Lego. The pshat is, if you were to build a brick on top of a brick, and you try to build a wall, then each row would fall down by itself. It would have absolutely no strength. But since you place two bricks like this, and then you place a brick that's on top of the two bricks, each brick leaves room for the next brick. In other words, what he's trying to say in terms of the lumdus over here is that each person made a little bit of Kiddushin in this woman. A little bit of Kiddushin. Not a full, complete Kiddushin. So if you make a little incy bit of Kiddushin, so then there's more room in that woman for added Kiddushins, and you can go up to 100. That's what Rav Masharchi says. Now, this happens to be a Musar Haskell for us as well. And that is that if each person is concerned about themselves and their own family, so they build up on top, they give to their kid and they give to another kid, but nothing to the outside, then what happens is it topples over. But when you think about other people, you include other people in your life. It's not just you and your family. You allow for other people to benefit from you. You have achdus in Klal Yisrael, then that's an everlasting building. Moser of Chanina. So the Gemara says, wait a minute. Is it possible that one woman could be mitzkadeshes to 100 men? How's it possible? Moser of Chanina, Mahayoim Ulachar Misa. Remember the case? I'm giving you a get from today Ula'achar misa. So the key word here is la'achar misa. From today and after I die. So Rav says, Safek, well, the Gemara says, the Mishnah says, get ve'enu get. It's a Safek. We don't know. Does the get start from today, Ma'ayim, or is the get la'achar misa? V'meis, and if the person died, we don't know what happened. Is she a divorced woman? And a divorced woman does not get chalitza. She's not a yibum. He died without children, so his wife doesn't fall liyibum to the brother-in-law. She doesn't even need chalitza. She doesn't need. Certainly, she can't do yibum. Or he said la'achar misa, and there's no get la'achar misa. There's no get after death, and therefore she's a regular yivama who falls to her yibum. So the halacha is misafik. She does chalitza, no yibum. Says Gemara Bishlam Rav Misayele. Oh, this makes a lot of sense according to Rav, because we have a suffix. We don't know. Is it a get, not a get? Okay, so because we have a suffix, we say do chalitza. L'shmuel nami, and according to Shmuel, great. I could explain it. Hamani Rabbanani Vananda Amri Kirebi. Rebbe says it's 100% a Tanai. In other words, it's a get. Remember, Rebbe says it's a Tanai. So Tanai means I'm starting today. And if I die later on, then the get should be chal. Now, 100% divorced. So, Rabbanan argue on that, and they say, we don't know for sure if it's not 100% divorced, and therefore, let's give her chalitza. She has to do chalitza. I personally, Shmuel says, I hold like Rebbe. I know that it's a get. But according to Rabbi Yochanan, when a person says something like this, he's leaving room for somebody else, or he's not doing a complete get, he's doing a semi-get. If a person gives a get that's only a partial get, in other words, he's still married to this woman on some level, he's divorced from her on some level, whatever that means, but he's still married to her. So if he's married to her, then it's nothing. It's not a real get. You can't be semi-divorced. And if it's a zero get, because he's still somewhat married to her, so if he's somewhat married to her, that means there's zero get. If there's zero get, then this person has to go to Yibum. She falls to Yibum. Forget about Chalitza, it's not even a suffix. According to you, that Reb Elchanan holds that you could do partial things, partial Kiddushin, partial get, then this is a partial get, and partial get means nothing. Amar Rava says, Rava, this is lumdus after lumdus after lumdus. Says Rava, get lahaitzi mitzvah lahaitzi. Yeah, you're right. There's a partial get. So let's, for theoretical purposes, let's say the get was useful to the point that it divorced her 50%. And now the person died, so now she's completely out of his jurisdiction 100%. Together, they work together. They're teammates. Achdus. A little bit of a get, a little bit of misa, poof, she's on her own. Masha get, okay, so you're right. So the get didn't accomplish everything. It left a little, let's say 50%. Gamar to misa. The death of the husband is good enough. Omle Abaya says Abaya, no, they work independently of each other. They can't work in tandem. They're not teammates. They're not a team. Why? Midami get moitzir rishus yavam. Misa machnis rishus yavam. What does get do? Get, if a person divorces his wife, then she doesn't fall liyibum to her brother-in-law. If a person dies, then his wife does fall liyibum. So they work opposites of each other. How can they work together? Misa machnis rishus yavam. Elo amar Abai hosam time amai. Let me explain to you, Rabbi Yochanan, says Abai. Gzer b'shum hayoim imati. Harei get. So Yoshi did this, but I wasn't happy with so much with the chalois, and I don't know. I think he updated it, but whatever. It didn't update on my computer yet. Maybe we can insert it later. So it says like this. Just this very, very simple chart. It's chart number 10. Why is it 10? I don't know, but that's what it is. So there's two lashonas here. The first lashon in green, hareze giteich im mati. That's a condition, and a condition works. It's a good get. This is your get if the person says about himself he dies. So when he dies, it's a get retroactively. That's why it's in green. The second one is Mahayim, that's what we were just discussing. Mahayim from today, Ula Achar Misa. From today and after Misa. That's not a condition. So I want it to start now, I want it to end after death. So it's red, not a get. So says Abaya, in the case of Mahayim, Imati, so that's a Tanai, it's a good get. So Midoraisa, says Abaya, in a case in the green, it's a good get. So what's halacha? If there's a get, then when her husband died, she wasn't married to him, 100% Midoraisa. So she's 0 yibum, 0 chalitza. So Rabbanon were geyser, also in our case, that what? That you're right. There should be, it's not a good get. You see, it's red, not a good get. She's married to this guy. When he died, she should go to yibum. But because the cases are so similar in the language, and in case number 1, the green, it's a good get, 0 yibum. So case number 2, where it's not a good get, and there should be yibum, we say no yibum. Says the Gemara, so why don't we say that in the case of Mahayoim Mimati, that there should be chalitz in that case? If you really want to compare the two cases, so say, okay, you know what? Do chalitz also in the case in the green. There should be chalitz in that case. Why? Because you might confuse it with the second case in the red. Says Gemara, that's a big problem, says Gemara. You could be geyser a lot of things, but you have to be careful. If you say gzeira that in a case where there's, in the green case, where it's a good get, so they're not even married. No, you should do chalitza just so there's no confusion. Well, wait a minute. People say, wait, if some guy will come, a big chacham will say, well, I remember there's a case like that and there was a chalitza, so in my case, I'll just do yibum. There's no yibum. It was a good get. She's not your yavama. Says the Gemara, so what about in the case in red? Why do you say she should do chalitza? If she does chalitza, somebody might come to do yibum. Says the Gemara, she should do yibum. Why? It's a bad get. Bad get means that she is a yavama. And so halachically, midaraisa, she should fall yibum. We're just saying that you might confuse it with the green case, where there's no get. Where it is a good get. So Mela, in our case, we do chalitza. You might come to do yibum. Worst comes to worst, they'll do yibum. It's only a chash derabban. There's a yeshiva in Bnei Brak, but I want to start being makbid on Lashon Hara a little bit more. L'schus, the captured people, Rahman al-Islam, and I think 3,000 wounded. It's unbelievable, the numbers. There's a yeshiva in Bnei Brak, I know the name, I'm not going to say it, that they made a takana that you cannot listen to a certain rabbi's shiurim. I know his name, I'm not going to say it. He gives beautiful shiurim, great stories, most of the whole thing. So I never understood why. Why can't you listen to shiurim? So somebody once explained that the reason is because they want you to have a fight. They say, the worst guy in the yeshiva, the rebellious bacher, he's going to go. And worst comes to worst, he'll download this shiurim from Kol Shana and listen to this shiurim. It's a lot better than having a fight somewhere else about some other, I don't know what, movie or who knows what. Let the fight be about a certain Rav and a certain shiurim. That was their svara. If it's true or not, I don't know, but it's interesting. Over here, we're saying don't do chalitza. What are you concerned? That you might do yibum? No, it's not the end of the world. If you do yibum, in this case, Midrash should be doing yibum. Says the Heilige Mishnah, easier stuff, Rabbi Yisai. It's time to wake up. I want to get engaged to you with this, Pruta says Rashi, this coin right over here, on condition I give you later on $100,000. It's a good Kiddushin right now. He just has to fulfill his night. So we'll see. Is the Kiddushin Chal now? Is the Kiddushin Chal later? He gives himself a time limit. And the time limit is very important. Maybe it's not a real hard time limit. Maybe he was just trying to put himself in a position that he has to move quicker. But he said, I'm going to give you the money within 30 days. If you fulfill this condition, it's a good condition. If not, it's not Kiddushin. On condition, I'm very rich, I'm very wealthy, you should know you have nothing to worry about. I will be supporting you. You could trust me. I have 200 zuz in the bank account. If he really has 200 zuz in the bank account, then it's a good condition. On condition, this sounds a little fishy. Let me show you my account that I have 200 zuz. Again, he needs to show her. He has to show her. It reminds me of a story where there was a poor person who used to walk by the restaurant every day, and he would stop and smell the delicious smells coming out of the restaurant. And pretend that he's sitting and eating a really good meal. So the owner of the restaurant, this big Russia, was not happy with this. Every day, what, you're going to stop in front of my store? So he took him to a Rav. He says, Rabbi, he needs to pay me because he sits there and he smells all the smells. So Rav says, you're right. So he tells the owner here, take out some coins from your pocket and rattle them. He says, you see, the same way he smelled it, that's the same way he paid you. You hear? With that noise, here, he paid you. Sometimes all you need to do is see it. If he could show it to her, he could show her the money, Kiddushin. He can't show her the money, no Kiddushin. Let's see, he's a money changer. He has thousands of dollars spread out there. And he says, look, I told you I'll show you the money. Here, I showed you the money. It's not his money. So what's the chiddush? If it's not his money, of course it's not Kiddushin. The Gemara is going to tell us. He makes money off of this money. It's his business, but it's not his money. Some people work in a money change. It's not their money, but they make commission. They make whatever, salary. So that's what he's trying to say. Itmar. Says the Gemara, Ravuna Omar Vuhitain, if they make a condition, on condition that here's a pruta, on condition I give you $100,000, Vuhitain, he has to give her. But meanwhile, there's Kiddushin, says Ravuna. Rav Yuda Omar, Lichashi. No, there's zero Kiddushin until he fulfills this Tnai. So we have a machlokes. Is the Tnai good Tnai? He just has to fulfill it. Or it's not a good Tnai until he fulfills it. So is she engaged on Sunday, and he just has to pay her by the end of the week? Or when he pays her at the end of the week, then she's engaged. Big enough Gemina. It's just a condition. All he has to do is fulfill the night. When he gives it to her, when he gives her the money, then it's Kiddushin. Right now, the zero Kiddushin. What's the difference? The nafkamina is, says the Gemara, if she accepted Kiddushin from another person. According to Ravuna, she's engaged immediately. Have a Kiddushin, then she's not engaged to the second guy. Rav Yehuda have a Kiddushin, then she is engaged to the second guy because she's only engaged to the first guy when he fulfills his condition. But he didn't fulfill his condition. The second guy came in before he fulfilled the condition. So she's mikudeshes to the second guy. Yidden. We have the exact same machlokes, says Gemara by Gittin. If you're with us with Gittin, remember this. I'm going to give you this get on condition you pay me. The divorce is right away. Ravuna says all he has to do is fulfill the condition, but she's divorced immediately. Or same machlokes says Kiddushin. When she gives the $200,000, then she's divorced. It's just a t'nai. All he has to do is fulfill the t'nai. But right now she's divorced. When she pays, who get? Only when she pays is the get chal. What's the difference between Rav Huna and Rav Yehuda in the case of a get? If the get was torn or it was lost. L'Ravuna have a get because she was divorced immediately. So the fact that the get got ripped and torn and lost 5 days later doesn't make a difference to us because the get was immediate. Rav Yehuda lo have a get. And according to Rav Yehuda, since she's only divorced when he fulfills the condition. But by the time that he fulfilled the condition, the get was no longer in this world, so she's not divorced. Says Gemara, so why do I need a case by Kiddushin and why do I need a case by Gerushin? Utzricha, I need them. The Yashmin Gabi Kiddushin, because if I only said it by Kiddushin, Rav Huna says that it works immediately. Mishum de Lekruva Kaasi, because everybody wants to get married to the Kala. He's not trying to distance her. He's trying to get married. So maybe it should work right away. Maybe by get, a person's not really so comfortable getting divorced. Maybe he'll agree that let's push it off a little bit. When the condition is filled, then we'll be divorced. What's my hurry to get? I was married to this woman for 40 years. Why should I get divorced today? Dafka today. Let's wait until she pays me, then we'll get divorced. And if we only say this idea by a get, Rav Huna says it works right away by a get. Why? Because this individual does not care so much for this woman anymore. So he has no problem collecting money from her. He has no problem knocking on the door. Right? We said we're going to get divorced on condition you give me $200,000. Where's my money? Pay me. He's not embarrassed of her. The Kal is all shy. She doesn't want to start up with the Chasen. So maybe we shouldn't allow it to happen until the condition is met. The Ksivala Lemidbei. Okay, so we need both cases. Meisvei. This is your get on condition that you give me 200 zuz. So we have a brisa here. Wait a minute. We have a brisa that says a little different than what we just said. This is your get on condition that you give me 200 zuz, and he dies, and this is your get. You just have to give me $200,000. The get was ripped, or lost. Harizim Gureshas. No, that sounds like Rav Huna. This is a kasha of Rav Yehuda. Rav Yehuda says that you need another get. According to Rav Huna, the original get is good. He got lost, stolen. It was an immediate get. So we have a problem with Rav Yehuda. And we have another problem. Because it says in the Brisa, the same case. This is your get on condition that you pay me umeis. Before she was able to pay him, he died. Nasna in skuguliyavam. If she gave him the money, there's no yibum. She's a divorcee. Loy nasna skuguliyavam. If she didn't give the money, she is zakuk to yibum. If you remember this, it's an amazing thing. Reb Shimon Gamliel says this is a certain type of get lachar misa. Why? When it says there's a way out of this, says Reb Shimon Gamliel. All she has to do is pay one of the relatives, and then retroactively the get is a get. Or retroactively, but it's like a Rav Huna. The get was a get. She just has to fulfill the condition. How do you fulfill the condition? By giving the money to one of the relatives. So scratch the word retroactive. It doesn't apply here. It's a get immediately like Rav Huna. She just has to fulfill her condition. Says Gemara, what would be the machlokes? The machlokes is, could she fulfill her obligation and her tanai by giving the money to an inheritor, to a Yerush? So that's the machlokes. Yes, no. But the kuli amamiyat, no, I have it. But everybody agrees that the get is chali immediately. Just question is, could you fulfill the tanai? To you to the Rav Yehuda. So it's a bam kasha on Rav Yehuda. Zog Gemara. Rav Yehuda. Mani Rebbe. This goes, it's not a question on me, because that goes like Rebbe. The Omar Ravuna Omar Rebbe, because Rebbe says, remember, it was one of the Musagim in Shas. According to Rebbe, at least, when a person makes a condition, he means right now. That's like Ravuna. Guess what? Rebbe's a Yachid, and the Rabbanan all argue on him. And I would rather take the position of the Rabbim of Rabbanan. Okay, we just mentioned it. Any person that makes a condition, what he's really saying is, I want it to start now. Just you have to fulfill the obligation. Kevin in Bavel, when I was in Bavel, we said, this is what he said, that it starts right now. Rabbanan argue on him. We went over there to Bavel, and they said in the name of Reb Elchanan, I'm sorry. Kisal Kilosam, they came to Eretz Yisrael. Ashkel Rebasi the Yosef, Komer Lamashmid Reb Elchanan Hakol Moedim Boimer Almanas Koimer Machshav Dami. No, in the name of Reb Elchanan, everybody agrees that when you say Almanas, you mean let's start right now. Lo Nechleku Elo Mahayoim Alacher Misa. The only machloikis is something else, not Almanas, but a person says from today. That's our case in the Mishnah. From today and after death. Vatanya, and I'll prove it to you. Rashi says binichusa ma'yoyim alachemisa. That's the case that you're saying that this is machlokes. Get veinu get divrei chachamim. It's a suffix. I don't know if he meant does the get start right now today, or does he mean that it should start after death? Rabbi Yomer kazeg get. That's the machlokes. That's what he meant. Hayoim. So kol oimer hayoim koimer from right now. Rav Yehuda the Omar ba'almanas nami pligi, but Rav Yehuda says that they argue not only in the case of Mahayoim Alachar Miso, but every time a person says Almanas on condition, there's also Machlokes Rebbe Rabbanon. Ademifligi b'Mahayoim Alachar Miso, Nifligi b'Almanas. Why is the Machlokes said? By a case of Mahayoim and after Miso, right? It's two like a contradiction. The get is today, the get is after he dies. Which one is it? And Rebbe says he meant Mahayoim. Rabbanon said, I don't know what he meant. Why don't you say a much better Machlokes? That they argue in the case of Almanas. Person says on condition, and that also Rebbe says it starts right now. And Chacham say, we don't know. Says Gemara koyach the Rebbe. To show you how powerful Rebbe says his opinion. The Mahayoim Alachar Misa Nami Arezaget. Not even though he says really a contradiction. He says Lachar Misa. No. Rebbe says it starts right now Mahayoim. Says Gemara, that's very good. That shows you how powerful Rebbe is. But so say the machlokes in the case of Almanas, to show you how powerful Rabbanan hold. That even on Almanas, we also don't know what he meant. It doesn't start right away. Says the Gemara, the famous line in Gemara. It's much harder, I should say. It's harder to be matter something. It's easier to be machmer. So I want to show you Rebbe's koyach of heter. I heard a beautiful line from Reb Shlomo Zalman Auerbach. I think you'll appreciate this line. He says in previous generations, they would say, let's not make a chumrah because the tzibur can uphold this chumrah. It's a chumrah she'ein hatzibur yecholim lamid bo. He says today it's the opposite. He says don't make a kula because it's ein kula she'hatzibur yecholim lamid bo. Everybody wants to be machmer today. So if you make a kula, people are going to say, well, I can't do it. I need to be machmer. So you can't make a kula that people can't tolerate, and they're going to make a chumrah. It used to be you can't make a chumrah because nobody could uphold the chumrah. Today you make a kula and say, what are you crazy? I'm going to be mekel. I'm the chamachmer. Says Gemara Amanash and loch mikan. A person says, I'll give you your mekudeshes with this coin on condition that I give you the money within 30 days. If he gives it to her, mekudeshes. He doesn't give it to her, no Kiddushin. Pshita. Says Gemara about the same left. No. Why did he use 30 days? Well, it's a ruzik omar, just to make it quicker, to give a what's the word I'm looking for? A date, that's the nafkamina when there's a shear. In seconds they'll say it. There's a date. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. There's let me just think if I come with the word. Shlifa. Anyways, there's a date that we're going for. And if that date comes and goes, okay, it's not the end of the world. We're not going to break it off. No. He was very makbid on the date, and that's it. On condition that I'm very wealthy, I have 200 zuz in my bank account. Maybe he has in a Swiss account. How do you know? There was actually a brisa that says that we must be concerned. Over here we're talking about certain Kiddushin. It might be that he has a bank account in Switzerland, but it's not 100% Kiddushin. The Bryce is talking about a Safek Kiddushin. You want to talk about Svekis? You have Svekis all day long. Maybe his account in Switzerland, maybe his account in Hungary. I don't know. So that makes it a Safek. That's what the Bryce is talking about. Misafek, yes, I have to be Choishish. Amenas Sha'arech Mosayim Zuz. I'll show you 200 Zuz. Tana. Why is it not a Kiddushin? Because she wants to see his own money. She wants to make sure she's marrying somebody that support her. And if he shows her in his store that he has hundreds of thousands of dollars, it means nothing. Pshita, of course not. It's not his. He's a partner over there. He's going to make commission. He doesn't have a partnership in the money, but he has a partnership in the business. If he does well and he sells a lot of money, he changes a lot of money, he'll make good commission. So he's showing her that. That's not enough. She wants to see cash. Says the Leiluy Mishnah, I have a very large amount or a kur of offer. I have a piece of land. Again, same thing like money. If he has it, great. He doesn't have it, no Kiddushin. I have a piece of land in New York City. I have a piece of land in Hong Kong. I have a piece of land in Yerushalayim HaKodesh. If he has a piece of land in that exact spot that he said, it works. I'll show you a piece of land. He has to show her his own piece. Great. He says, you see down there, there's a piece of land. It's not his. It doesn't work. Says the Gemara, maybe he has a piece of land, I don't know where. And we learn somewhere else. Mamish the same thing that we said before. Says the Gemara, Loikash. There's a price that says that you have to be concerned. Maybe he has a piece of land in Yerushalayim somewhere. Loikash. Our Mishnah is talking about a certain Kiddushin. You want to talk about Tzvekis? Yes, you're right. There is a Safek Kiddushin. That's what the Brisa talks about. Says Gemara, what I need, 2 cases, one by money and one by real estate. People tend to hide their money in Swiss accounts. If a person has a piece of land, people know about it. Person says, I have karka in a certain place. So if you come up with it, great. Not. Pshita, what's the chiddush? What do you care if I have a piece in Yerushalayim? We live in New York, so I will make sure that I bring it from wherever it is. What do you care where it is? I'm the one working the field. I'm the one bringing the parnas home. No, she does care. Says the Gemara, Amanas, final line. Amanas sha'arich beis kor offer. On condition I could show you that I have a certain plot of field, land. Tana, leniskam nezu eloliris mishloi. She doesn't care if he shows her a piece of land. She wants to see what he owns. It's very interesting what she's never seen a piece of land. He's like a tour guide. Here, you see, that's a nice piece of land. That's a nice piece of land. It doesn't help her. That's not why she's marrying him. She wants to see that he owns it. And if she just pointed to a piece of land that's not his, it's not a Kiddushin Pshita. What's the Chiddush? He is a sharecropper. So you think that he's a sharecropper. He's not just pointing to a vacant piece of land that's not his. He's saying, you see that piece of land? It's mine. What do you mean it's mine? He didn't really lie. It's not his. He's not on the title. But if he works it, he gets shares. So therefore, that maybe I would think that's good Kiddushin because he has a business there, like with the money. Kamash or not, you know what? I don't think I said the sponsors, so I'll say them now. We turn to Daf Amud Beis for all those in need of a Refuah Shlema, and there are at least 3,000 that we know of. Forget all the Chaylim that we had until now. Don't forget them. In addition to all the Chaylim that we had, unfortunately, until now, we have 3,000 new Chaylim from the last week. And by innovations in honor of my uncle Reb Elchanan Pressman and as a schus for a year filled with mazel, brocha, hatzlocha, and parasa b'revach for all of them, the white family, Reb Boisai. Have a wonderful day.